Oh, welcome to La Liga Weekly, or La Liga Twice Weekly. It's a bonus edition because we've had a round of La Liga in the week, and you can see Terry Gibson is in the most neutral room in the world with no distinguishing features whatsoever. That's your Madrid, your Madrid base, Terry.
Yes, it is. I arrived yesterday and worked on the Oviedo Barcelona game last night. Tonight, I'm doing Girona Espanyol and then staying to do the Madrid derby in the afternoon. I'm literally within spitting distance of the stadium, and I'm doing
Hmm.
it in a voiceover booth just round the corner, which is slightly irritating when it's that close. I mean, I was close in Barcelona, to be honest, but not as close as I am. I literally could walk across to the Atletico Madrid stadium, and it's about a similar length walk to go to the offices where the voiceover booth is. So looking forward to that tomorrow. Unfortunately for those in the UK, they can't watch it this week on a Saturday afternoon when it's live. But it is it's going to be interesting around the where I'm staying tomorrow because it's so close to the stadium. There's going to be lots of people about in the morning, I would imagine, in the build up to the game. So I'm going to get part of the flavour, and then I'll
Yeah.
go off to my little dark room, as you know, full well, and might as well be a million miles away from it. So, yes, it's a big game tomorrow, massive game.
Yes. Shall we talk about the game you did last night then? Barcelona got a win away to Oviedo. And a win is a win, I think is one way of putting it. We've been full of praise for the style of their football recently. They did all right, didn't they? They conceded a ludicrous goal from Joan Garcia, but they had a wonderful finish. Let's be fair.
Yeah,
Oviedo gave them a scare in that respect. A couple of headers made the difference. Lewandowski's head I thought was absolute classic,
yeah,
top world class centre forward header.
yeah. My jaw dropped when it went in,
Mm,
and I don't know why because it's Lewandowski,
mm,
and I expect him to do this sort of thing. But he hasn't been on the pitch long. He hasn't been involved too much. I think we're seeing less and less of him now
mm.
outside of the box, and he is purely at the age he is now a penalty box predator. That's what he is. And it was so fascinating. It was De Jong with a cross who came in as a sub as well, and then you see Lewandowski's movement, and he's just points with his left arm. He just points to De Jong where to put it, and De Jong puts it in exactly the right spot. He just has that sharpness to get across the defender and flash it in. It looks impressive because it hits the bar and goes in as well. It's a spectacular finish. So that was a great goal. Eric Garcia as well. He's contributing so much
Mm.
this season, and I'm pleasantly surprised and pleased for him. And it was him that's he shows a striker's instinct when he's in and around the penalty area from set pieces and stuff. So it was, yeah, they got there in the end. Alberto Reina it was one of those goals where I don't know if Joan Garcia was doing it. Don't be too critical. That's probably his first mistake since he joined the club. And it's not down to a goalkeeping error. It's down to a player who's trying to be something
A
he
midfield
probably
error.
isn't. Yeah. I mean, he initially has a good first touch, then a second touch, and then probably in hindsight, he should just play it long down the line.
Yeah. Oh,
But trying to play it in fields,
Rose Ed, it needed to go, didn't he? And then,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, he
which I
could have
suppose
just,
it's easy to say with hindsight because he passed the ball then, didn't he? Straight to Raider.
yeah.
And it was, like I said, it was a brilliant finish.
It was one of those where everyone's going, shoot!
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
can,
yeah. But
and
usually they shoot and it goes nowhere near the goal or gets,
yeah, gets cleared or it goes wide or over. But as soon as he hit it, I thought, that's in. And he said the same thing. Alberto Reino, in his interview after the game, said as soon as he hit it, he knew it was him because it had the right amount of curl. The only fear was he going to bounce and go over the bar, which we
Mm.
sometimes see. The two Barcelona players chasing back were not going to get there. So it was Oviedo were really in the thick of the action as well. They were competitive. They didn't sit back and defend. They started the game in a positive manner. They had a load of set pieces as the game went on, Barcelona did take control. Obviously, when they go 1-0 down and make changes and they get three goals in the second half, that clearly tells you they were in control. But it was an affluent performance from Barcelona last night. De Jong and Pedri in midfield is a must now for the big games. They can't play every single game in a 60-game season, plus internationals. But I think that Hansi Flick was probably right in thinking, well, we're playing a team that have only scored one goal. They've won one game. Perhaps I can give one of them a rest tonight. But at half time, he had to make the change. Casado isn't De Jong, and it did look a lot different with Mark Casado in there alongside Pedri. Rashford was hit and miss. Rafinha was hit and miss. It was an affluent performance from Barcelona. I thought they defended quite well, to be honest, because they were under pressure significantly in that match, surprisingly. But I thought they defended well. But they just didn't look fluent with the midfield and the link up with the attacking players. Dani Olmo suffered against Alberto Reina. Alberto Reina was designated as the man-to-man marker, and it was something that Dani Olmo didn't react well to. So he didn't really influence the game. And it's important he finds his top form because Fermin Lopez is injured for a while. So Dani Olmo is the obvious number 10 to play in that position. And they do need him back on top form. He hasn't shown that. One goal this season, decent goal, but I think they need him to start influencing the game more than we've seen currently so far this season.
Yes. And injuries are a problem. Just checking. So it's Wednesday night, the PSG game. They got Real Sociedad Sunday night, but Joan Garcia is now just recently heard that he's injured in training. And Rafinha out. Obviously, they've got more options in those attacking midfield forward areas. But Joan Garcia, it's a blow, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I assume Wojciech Chesney will come back in and play, and he's probably sat there with his feet up thinking, okay, I'll do another year at Barcelona. I'll be number 2 goalkeeper, possibly number 3. Then Ter Stegen was injured, and he steps up to number 2 now. Joan Garcia is injured. So we've seen in the past. I mean, last season he performed he's magnificent, considering the circumstances. But this is different. He's done the pre-season. He's barely played any minutes. He hasn't played any minutes, and now all of a sudden he's been thrown into 2 games. The Real Sociedad one is a tough little fixture as well. But that at least will give him the game to get used to get ready to play against PSG. As you said, that in the top end of the pitch, they're fine. I mean, Lewandowski came off the bench last night. So you can cobble together a still a decent front line. And I believe Lamine Yamal might be back for the game against Real Sociedad. So I wouldn't expect him to start, but half an hour off the bench, I think, if it would be sufficient, and then probably be ready to play against PSG. So the goalkeeping problem is an issue. You don't know how they're going to respond. Having not played, a little bit rusty. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Were you outraged by the Ballon d'Or? I imagine you were. Everyone else seems to be outraged about some aspect.
No, I Dembele winning it is extraordinary in the fact that how we were frustrated with these levels at Barcelona.
Yeah, but good luck to him for that. Yeah,
oh, totally. Yeah, no, totally. And he's aged to turn his career around.
Yeah.
And we all recognised there was a talent there. That was the frustration.
So frustrating, wasn't it? Yeah, watching the Barca. Yeah,
and he's good on either foot. He can beat players easily. Then you see him beat 3 players, drop his shoulder, and give a 10-yard pass straight to the opposition. Silly things like that frustrated you. But you could tell there was a player there, and it's moving to PSG eventually with Luis Enrique as manager. The style that they play, the system they play, the position he plays. And he's just suddenly developed into, I think a team that wins the Champions League, and he was there probably just about their outstanding player because they had a few contenders. Yeah, I'm not outraged that he won it. And I think it's a good example to players that not necessarily at 20 years old are going to be Ballon d'Or winners. Ousmane Dembele has never been talked about being a Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show if you're playing for the right team that gets the right coverage, because of the right reasons, because you're winning trophies and you're a hugely important player, anyone can win it.
Yeah, so you only have to be the best player for that season. That's all the Ballon d'Or is. Yeah,
and you need your team to be successful.
Yeah.
That's a must.
So is he a better player than Mbappe? No. If you gave me a player, and who do you want to sign? Mbappe, obviously.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
totally.
But yeah. But
Mbappe scored a couple the other night, and I'm thinking, is it too early to chuck Mbappe's name in for the Ballon d'Or next year? a day after, as Dembele picks up his trophy.
Started too early.
No, outrage. Yeah.
I like the fact that the women's Ballon d'Or went to Aitana Bonmati, and everyone's outraged about that as well. So women's football's come of age because everyone's furious about the Ballon d'Or. So yeah. Congratulations to her.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it brings us on to Real Madrid with 2 goals this week for Mbappe. Penalty that he won. You've when you tackle, I
Oh,
think
seen that before, haven't we?
I think you've said before,
Yeah.
don't get close in that situation because his feet are so fast, and
Yeah.
he chops it back. And if you're sliding, either by design or by accident, he'll catch your slide and you'll foul him.
Yeah. You've got to slide within, I would say, about half a metre away.
Yeah,
So if you're sliding to block the cross,
yeah,
that's the only thing you can do.
yeah,
If you slide too close and you're half making a tackle, you're asking for trouble.
yeah,
That's exactly what happened in this instance. And it was reckless. It wasn't ideal, and it changed the game. Actually, there was a
yeah,
brief moment. Leventi, Eteri Young again scores a goal to put them back in it after being 2-0 down, and you're thinking, oh, this is an unusual team from Xabi Alonso as well. Carreras playing centre back. He had players on the bench that would normally play. You can see why he's resting players and avoiding suspensions and stuff like that with the Madrid derby coming up on Saturday. And at 2-1, it was, oh, this is lively now. But then Real Madrid just kicked on another gear, and Mbappe in particular.
yeah,
So that's what, I mean, Mastantuono gets another goal, and just his reputation, in my opinion, is just growing and growing to the extent now I'd be shocked if he's not starting in the Madrid derby.
So are you? So if everyone's fit, are you putting Mastantuono in the 11?
In current form, yes, I'd find the
Yeah.
position for him.
Hmm.
He's been that good.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that Xabi Alonso is. I'm trying to think of the. I don't see Bellingham starting. Don't see Camavinga starting. Danny Carvajal was rested, so he'll obviously play right back in this one. He didn't play for obvious reasons. They found that Raul Asensio can do a job at right back in some games rather than using Fede Valverde there. So Tchouameni was on the bench, so he got rested. So I think there's an obvious core of players. Militao didn't play, so he's rested. There's a core of players for Real Madrid, and like Hansi Flick, you're entitled to use them. If you can keep that depth in the squad of players interested in the season rather than isolating 4 or 5 that never play, never come on, you've got a better chance of success over the whole campaign. So I think Hansi Flick has done it, and I think that Xabi Alonso is right to do it as well. It's just picking those games. Levante away, Oviedo away. You can understand why they've both done it. And
Yeah.
they've both got the wins. They've rested senior players. And it does, that's the nature of. I mean, they're good squads. I mean, you look at the players that came in for Real Madrid the other night. I mean, Dani Ceballos barely plays, but he's a really good footballer, walking to most teams in La Liga. And players like that come in, and as I say, Mastantuono has really grabbed his opportunity. Vinicius looked brighter, looked sharper. Excellent finish from him.
Yeah, from a different position. Interesting,
Yeah,
isn't it? Because we talked about
yeah,
him being
on the
sort of
other side.
restricted by his left wing position, but yeah, and he took it really well. Took it early, didn't he?
Yeah. So that was a tidy performance from Real
Yeah,
Madrid. As I say, just for a moment, when Ete Young makes it 2-1, you think, oh, game on again. And it wasn't. It was, so eventually it turns into a comfortable win. 2 goals in a couple of minutes from Mbappe, the penalty and another one. It was, it does excellent start. 6 wins in the league, winning the Champions League. There are tougher games to come, including obviously the Madrid derby at the weekend.
yeah. Well, let's roll on to see how Atletico did. So I think last week, I classified La Liga as red cards and great goals. No red cards. So well done,
Oh, yeah.
everybody. Great goals, however. I mean, there were 3 in this game, and the Rayo's first goal. I mean, we'll get on to Julian Alvarez, but Pep Chavarria's goal. What a strike! Like a cannon.
It was, again, like I said, my jaw dropped when Lewandowski scored. Likewise with this one, and 2 or 3 other goals in the midweek round of games. And this was a stunning strike. And at that stage, I mean, Rayo is a tough game. They're struggling, to be honest. I'm
Yeah,
looking at them. They've only got 5 points. Yet they've been in amongst the action in all the games they've played, but they've only picked up 5 points. But it is a team that finished in 8th last year. It's a really good team. They've got good players. They've got a superb manager, and they can make life difficult. But at the same time, I'm looking at Atletico, and you go 1-0 up after 15 minutes, thinking, go on, make light work of this, like Real Madrid and Barcelona would do at home to Rayo Vallecano, and they don't. And then Pep Chavarria's goal, which is amazing, the equaliser. So, and it was right in the stroke of half time. It knocked the wind out of the sails of Atleti. And it was a struggle in the second half. And it was pretty much down to Julian Alvarez why they get the win.
Yeah.
I mean, Chavarria's goal was a sensational goal, and Alvaro Garcia goes through. Oblak didn't look the best, I have to be honest, when Alvaro Garcia didn't do an awful lot, just dropped his shoulder a little bit.
Ran round him,
Oblak
basically.
looked about 50 years old, trying to bend down to get it, and finished it off from a nice angle. And then Julian Alvarez just took control. I mean, a quick reply, 3 minutes later, Atleti get the equaliser. That was the one he slams home from close range. And then the third goal in the 88th minute, dramatic, great drama, scenes of celebration scenes from Atletico Madrid. Just might be the little switch that they're looking for. And it can go either way now, the derby. I mean, this is the little flick of the switch which brings everybody together, the new players involved. You feel part of the team now. You've had a moment of triumph. I know we're talking about a win against Rayo, but in the circumstances, they've had these games this season. They haven't picked up enough points. They haven't started off as they would like to. And they were celebrating this game like it was they'd gone through to the final of the Champions League. But that does help integrate new players into a group with the manager, with the coaching staff, with the teammates. So it'd be interesting to see how they respond on the back of that with the home game against Real Madrid. Is it a must-win? It's a must-not-lose for Atleti. I think it's a must-not-lose. I mean, they're 9 points behind Real Madrid. If they lose, done.
Yeah,
you ain't coming back from 12.
Because I think we must win things far too early in the season. People are, if 12 points behind. If they lose it, 9 points from 7 games, you would just think, well, they're not title contenders.
Exactly. I think that is how significant this derby is. It's a must not lose game for Atleti. If it stays at 9, things can change. We saw last season the ups and downs of Real Madrid and Barcelona. Barcelona had that horrific little period, didn't they, where they lost to Las Palmas and Leganes at home, and it was going horribly wrong. But then it turned around again quickly. Atleti went on a massive winning run that dragged them close to the top 2. So things can change. It's a long season. Real Madrid, this is their toughest game of the season so far. I think we'll learn a lot from them. I think they're going to benefit from the fact they've had a comfortable start, but got the wins, got the victories. New players have settled in. I hate sitting on the fence, but I do see a draw in this one.
Okay, so if you what do you want from Simeone in terms of approach? Because you called it and must not lose. That doesn't translate into playing defensively or spoiling the game, does it? You want to see them play positively?
Yeah, and I think it's been a while since they've done that. I mean, we do get to see it during a game. I think he sets out with the right frame of mind in all the games. But sometimes he can't help himself when they take a lead. His team do take a step back. We haven't seen enough games this season to see the evidence whether it still exists. As I said, even against Rayo, when they go 1-0 up, they've got better players, they've got a better team. They still don't go sort of ram home their advantage playing at home against Rayo Vallecano and win 3-4-0. They don't do that. So it'd be interesting to see. I can't imagine he'll pick a team. I can't imagine he'll pick a team overloaded with defensive players to sit deep and play on the break. And I don't think the supporters allow that now. So I think it'd be, a normal team. I'm not going to call it and say he's going to play all these attacking players, but I think it'd be a normal Atletico Madrid lineup, a back four as such like, and maybe is Koke going to play? I doubt it. Griezmann going to play? I doubt it. I'm not entirely sure. I think Soloff is available after, is it just a 1-game suspension or 2? I'm not sure. It's Julian Alvarez is in great form. Don't take him off. See, that's what happened. That's what Simeone does. If they go a goal up, suddenly you see some strange substitution. You're thinking, well, why is he taking Soloff off? Why is he taking Julian Alvarez off?
So he scored in the 80th and 88th minute. because
Yeah,
he's still on the pitch. So,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So I think he'll set up with a system of play for Atletico Madrid. I couldn't tell you at this stage of the season what is likely to be his best lineup. I think we're far from that because he's made so many changes.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how he does line up. Simeone Giuliano was on the bench. I think he'll start. Llorente probably starts right back. The other night we had Molina with Llorente playing further forward. Conor Gallagher was left midfield, but he was tucked right inside, so there is no left midfield. Javi Gallen's left on his own. Yeah, there are some issues to iron out, but the win and the way they got the win leaves them going into the Madrid derby in a good frame of mind. So
Um,
they'll have that mentality from Simeone. Even the new players, they're on board straight away. They've got that Atletico Madrid, Simeone mentality, so they will make it tough for Real Madrid. It's just whether they're good enough.
Before we go forward, let's just drag back because Gavi, we didn't discuss Gavi's injury, did we? So,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a personal blow. It's a blow for Barcelona supporters, for football fans and everything that he's got an extended period on the sideline, and he's injured. Who knows? We're not medics, are we? We haven't looked at his physiology, but he's a young man, played a lot of football very young, and is now struggling to shake off injuries.
and it's the same knee, so
Mm.
it's to do with the previous operation. Um, Obviously, this can happen.
Mm.
So he did the ACL. Now it's something to do with the meniscus, the cartilage, where they've stitched it back together again, which is quite unusual. Normally they trim it, take it out,
Right.
but they've decided to stitch it back and then fix it, repair the cartilage. Hopefully, God willing, that solves this little problem. But it's going to be 5 months, and
Mm.
that's another half a season. A World Cup coming up. He's had a really good pre-season. Eased his way back in last year. Hansi Flick took pretty good care of him. Didn't rush him back. He was probably getting frustrated that he wasn't rushed back. He's that type of player. But for a 5 month break now is yeah, it's a crushing blow for Gavi. But we know his mentality, we know his spirit. He's going to be resilient and come back and probably be as fighting fire with fire like he's done since he was broke into the team at 17. Maybe
Villarreal.
he could curb it. I know you have a feeling that maybe he could curb his style of play. He's all or nothing, isn't he? Chucks everything into everything, tackling challenges. I'm not sure this is down to that though. It's just a byproduct of his long term knee injury, and somehow this has happened.
Mm. Um, so Villarreal got a good win, 2-1 away to Sevilla. Um, was it deserved? I'll just check. I need to get the league table around in my head. So they're third, Villarreal, 3 points behind
Yeah.
Barcelona. So it's a good start, isn't it? Yeah,
Oh, excellent
yeah,
start. I mean, Tani Olawasei. I'm going to
yeah.
get my head around that. It was a good goal. Sergio Cardona with a good assist. Manor Solomon, who's on loan from Spurs with the second goal. Mikatadze with the assist on that one. He's Sunday. A couple of games I thought, well, what they spent their money on? Not in a, I wasn't writing him off, but I was
Mm,
trying to see what's he good at? Is he this? Is he that? He looks a really good player now.
mm.
So in the last couple of games, he's found his sharpness, getting some understanding of playing in a new league and alongside new teammates, and he looks a good player. Yeah, I think they did deserve to win this one. Being honest, I thought they created more chances. Sevilla huffed and puffed a little bit. A few changes from Almeida that probably didn't make sense, but some of these managers they go into the meltdown mode when there's a midweek round of fixtures
Mm.
and start making changes and prioritising games and such like. And it's maybe one or two too many changes from Sevilla in this match.
Yeah, yeah. Because we are already a few games into the season, aren't we?
Exactly. It's and these teams don't play in Europe. Some of these are not in Europe. I
Mm.
get it if you're playing European football, but I don't get why you would make those changes so quick into the season. Players can play weekend, midweek, weekend. It doesn't happen often for these teams, so it's not as if they're doing it every other week. So yeah, I don't get why you make so many changes.
Yeah. Athletic Club drew 1-1 with Girona. So Girona did well, got through a game without anything ludicrous. happening. I mean, they're in action again tonight. They'll probably concede a hat-trick of penalties in the first minute or something.
In the Catalan derby against
Yeah.
Espanyol, which I'm working on. No, they were much. Looking at them in this game, you're thinking, well, how have they been like thrashed left, right, and centre? And it's been so catastrophic. They were good in this game, and I mean, Azzedine Onoa'i gets the first goal, really good goal, good finish, and then Haregiza gets another one of those. We talk about goals of the round. Both of the goals in this game were really good. Athletic were disappointing again. The Nico Williams absence is killing them, to be honest. And they don't seem set upon who's playing up front. So Nadi's on the bench. I think he come on this one. Sunset can play there, and Gurazetta can play there. Iñaki Williams is playing there. But they don't create an abundance of chances. And Girona deserved the point in this one. They really did. So I'll be interested to see Girona's the game against Espanyol. That's where their troubles have come from, playing at home. That's where they've conceded all the goals. So I can't imagine there's too much pressure playing in that stadium in front of those supporters. And they're not the most demanding fans in La Liga. So it'd be interesting. But they were good in this game, Girona. Really good.
Yeah. They've had just two of the defeats have just been calamitous, haven't they? Where just things have gone wrong, which has then undone them. But obviously, you can't afford too many of those, can you? Because then it ruins your season and you're in trouble. Which we'll get to shortly. Let's just might as well do Espanyol while we're on, because they play again. Obviously, play tonight. So they've got a 2-2 draw against Valencia. I mean, they got a late equaliser. They had a lot of chances and a lot of near misses. Espanyol.
Yeah,
so.
They probably should have won this, to be honest. And this is and thankfully, from their point of view, they got a point, because if they lose this, you can't look at Espanyol. They're fourth, 11 points. They've had a fantastic start. Listen, I was going to say I'm not convinced they'll stay there. I am convinced they won't stay there.
Yeah.
But I think it can be a pleasant season away from the relegation battle. But there's also that doubt that if you don't ride this crest of a wave for as long as you can, sooner or later you're going to start dropping points. You're going to start losing games, and you get dragged into the mire. So I think because they played so well in this game. From their point of view, it was a blessing they actually got the late equaliser, because they deserved it. If you lose that game, and then you start second, doubts creep into your mind, and then you start slipping down the table. So, yeah, they deserved the point in this game at the very least.
Yes, right. Let's keep cracking
on. Dan Juma's doing all right as well.
Right. Yeah,
another goal for him. And word on Valencia, they weren't awful. They weren't outplayed. But just Espanyol created more. And as I say, they deserve the point.
Yeah. Real Sociedad needed a win. It was a big game, this one, wasn't it? Real Sociedad against Mallorca. Oyarzabal, classic. Well, they don't get many goals, Real Sociedad, but they got this one. They sort of worked it right into, tap-in position. And it was against Mallorca. So two teams who had started really badly. I've got sympathy for Mallorca over the fixture list. But it's the problem with the tough fixture list. It creates real pressure for then when the games are supposedly more are easier after that.
It creates doubt. You lose confidence. You're looking at the league table. You're 19th. You're second from bottom. You've got 2 points. Everyone's slaughtering Girona. You've got the same amount of points. Yeah, they played Real Madrid. They played Barcelona. Played Atletico Madrid. But games like this, and there's the other 2 games they've had. They haven't picked up a win. A couple of draws. And this was much better from Real Sociedad. They had 17 shots, 4 on target. So that's further room for improvement. Barrenechea he assists and makes the goal. So perseverance was the order of the day from him. He missed 2 sitters. So he's a good player. They've got good attacking players. But 17 shots is encouraging, but only 4 on target. One of them resulted in a goal. So they need more shots, which is what they did in this match. The next step now is to be more efficient. Just a touch. You have 17 attempts on goal and only 4 on target. That tells the story. So it was much better from Real Sociedad all round, apart from the little bit of composure needed. But that's a team that's lacking confidence. So this might help them.
Yeah. Is Arrasate in trouble? How many more games? How many games can he afford?
The international breaks are normally the crucial ones, aren't they? So we've got one coming up shortly. I think he'll be okay for that one. After that, who knows? I mean,
They've got a kind of, well, obviously a much kind of run of
well,
games to come.
they've got Alaves at home
Yeah.
this weekend. Yeah, that could be make or break, to be honest.
All right. So if they lose that, you think is genuinely,
Yeah, I think because the club are in a hurry to get somewhere,
yeah,
and they made the change to bring him in, and they wanted a more expensive type of football. They haven't got that, but they've been competitive. A team that not long ago were going up and down the division in terms of being relegated, coming back up. They look more stable and established in La Liga. But I think their intention was to try and push on and do what Rayo Vallecano did last year, Celta Vigo did last year, qualify for Europe. So if it drifts on for too long, I think because of the ambition of the club, that's what makes me think he might be under pressure because they don't want to be drifting around at the bottom of the league. That's not what the club set up for now.
yeah. Osasuna won, Elche won. So Elche, I mean, that was what minute it was really. I've neglected to write the minute down, but they're unbeaten. Elche, the fifth place in the league, which none of our pre-season predictions, I don't think anyone had them
Beaten.
above 17th. So yeah,
Yeah, three unbeaten teams.
yeah,
Barcelona, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Elche. It was a 92nd minute equaliser against the run of play. Elche, Sarabia, I think it's a red card as well, made a whole host of changes. And you're thinking, he's one of these managers that's done that. And you're thinking, why? This is the sixth game of the season. And I think he was prioritising the weekend's match. I mean, they're at home to Celta, who are playing in European competition on Thursday night. And he's probably thinking, well, I'll rest them and rest them. If we get something from this, great. They ended up having a right good go at it, and Osasuna didn't finish them off. And it was Adri Pedrosa who gets the 92nd minute. Have you seen the goal? Is an absolute
yes,
calamity.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what Sergio Herrera is doing because he made some good saves earlier. I mean, he's a decent goalie. I couldn't work out whether he was trying not to collide with his own teammate. I think it was Boyo, and then he's trying not to collide with Adri Pedrosa, and it's just an absolute mess, wasn't it? And no one touches anyone in the end. I think Pedrosa is expecting to get cleaned out or the ball get cleared out, and suddenly one just steps out of the way and he taps into an open goal. So, yeah, fifth, 10 points. Excellent start from Elche.
yes. Last game, because we only had 9 games. Well, actually, we should briefly mention the Betis Forest
Yeah.
game. They got a late draw. Forest had a lot of chances though in this. I don't know. I don't know if you saw it because you.
No, I did. Yeah, no, it was a weird game. Betis started off really on top, scored a goal that was coming, and then for the next 20 minutes of the game, it could have been 5-1 to Forest. It was completely. It just fell apart. Betis. They did well to get to half time without it being too drastic, and then again in the second half they were a better team. Again, one of these ones where teams, Pellegrini made a lot of changes that I didn't think were necessary. I know they want to rotate the players and give players opportunities, but it wasn't as strong as the starting 11 in the game at the weekend. But eventually those players did come on and they revitalised them. They're able to get a draw in the end. But it does make me, who said it? Ernesto Valverde said, it's more important than league position. Well, you work bloody hard to get into the Champions League or the Europa League. Why bother then if you're? I mean,
I think that
are not going down.
Yeah,
Betis are not going to get relegated. So why then rest your first choice players in the?
It's like the last day, the match day 38 of La Liga or Premier League or Serie A. Everyone's talking about who's going to get into the Champions League, who's going to get into Europe, and all of this. And then they get into the Europa League, and you have to play in that now.
Yeah,
hang on, it was the whole point of last season, wasn't it?
Exactly. You put it exactly as I was trying to. Not successfully getting there, but that's the point. Yeah, why try hard? Do that and then blow it off. So I was surprised Fornals wasn't playing and Cucho Hernandez wasn't playing, but Camber was playing up front. And there was a few surprise selections in that lineup.
Yes. Getafe
I didn't see the Celta game. Sorry, I haven't seen the Celta game. Just working on the game last night, but they nearly squeezed out a 1-1 draw.
Oh right, okay.
But they lost Lost 2-1 at Stuttgart.
Oh, right, yeah, literally. Yeah, I mean, well, sorry, yeah, sorry, Celta. We seem to have forgot to watch the game.
No, we just both assumed it was 1-1,
Yeah,
which is what 5 of their games have been
yeah,
so far this season. So it's
yeah. Sorry
a bit
about
of a
that.
blow, but it's a tough game away from home against a
Yeah,
team from the Bundesliga. Um, so that was the reason why there was only 9 games. This game was played earlier, wasn't it? Because of the
yeah,
two teams playing in this competition this week. And was it 1-1, wasn't it? I think.
yeah, yeah.
The better Celtic, of course it was. So we're all level now. All the teams have played the same games because it
Good.
was nothing irritates me more than
Yeah,
Ryan played
stresses you out,
6,
doesn't it?
played
Yeah,
5. That stress me out. I like an orderly list of matches where everyone's played the same amount of games.
yes. So one more game to do, which is Getafe 1, Alaves 1. So they haven't signed Patrick Bamford yet, Getafe, have they? I keep saying that he's signing, in the process of signing, but
I haven't seen. Yeah, I didn't notice
oh,
that. I
right,
knew.
yeah.
I
So
saw the story about his shirt with, was it Osman Dembele a couple of
oh,
years
oh,
ago?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I saw that
yes,
story about Patrick Bamford. It'd be a good signing for
yeah,
them. He would. I'm sure he'd enjoy it spelling La Liga.
yeah.
I think he's a good player and the type of player that they could need.
Yeah, well, he's
So
not.
I
He's the
think,
nicest man ever to play for
yeah.
Getafe if he signs for Getafe. But
Wouldn't it be? It'd be really interesting to see if
hmm.
Bordelais can change him and turn him into a right nasty bastard. Spent a 15-year career in England, and everyone thinking he's a lovely sportsman, and then he goes to Getafe and turns into someone
Yeah,
evil.
an
I
animal.
doubt it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
doubt it. But it'd be fun to watch.
yeah. But he played because he played for Bielsa, didn't he, at Leeds very
Yeah,
successfully because he's a hard-working player. He's just
yeah.
been
Oh
very
yeah,
injury prone, hasn't he?
yeah,
Unfortunately. Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah,
So that'd be interesting to see if that comes off.
yeah, yes. Right. So I think we'll leave it there because Terry, you better get off to the stadium. As the and yeah, so enjoy Girona Espanyol tonight, and then yeah, the tantalising process. You'll have to go outside and sample a bit of atmosphere, talk to
I'll
the
get in the
fans, and then
hotel in the morning. I
yeah,
guarantee you, it when Atleti or Real Madrid have played at home, the where I am is you see all the Atleti shirts or the Real Madrid shirts. I have to say, very early as well. Sometimes I'm looking and thinking it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and the game isn't until 9 o'clock tonight.
hmm,
So I'm expecting in the morning to be surrounded by people that are fortunate enough to go to the game.
yes, yes. I always wonder. I mean, listen. I'm not teetotal, and if I'm out watch, I don't mind a couple of pints and watch a game, but I can't. I see people at football, and I think, if I ask you the score, would you know the score of this football match? You know anyone who's playing because they're so drunk that how can you possibly be anyway?
Or tired.
Yeah, yeah,
Tiredness
yeah,
creeps in as well, doesn't it?
yeah. Especially
It
yeah, if
can
you
do.
start early and it's sunny, so you know the sunny
Yeah,
days.
exactly.
Yeah, and so people their eyes are going in. Anyway, so yes, so a fully sober Terry Gibson will enjoy. Open your window and listen to the sound of
Exactly.
the Metropolitano. Right. Well, Terry, yes, enjoy the football this weekend. Safe journey home, and then we'll see you for another podcast soon, and we'll see everybody next week. Thank you for your support, everyone. Bye bye.